Hey there, this is our Glenbrook X-ray, and I have a cable that I need to verify how it's soldered up. I've got a sample in here, and thought I'd take the opportunity to show the Glenbrook 70T X-ray. So this is our computer. This is what the X-ray looks like. Kind of here you can see a little bit of it, and this is what the machine here looks like. Runs on 110. It's got a Windows computer on it. So I had it on just a little bit ago. I'm going to go ahead and fire it back up. This is a motor control system. So it runs on COM4. I'm going to open this up and see if I can slide this box over so you can see it just a little bit, but all the main actions happens inside. I'm going to do an auto calibrate. So this is a machine that has a table on it that's a XYZ. It's that little center hub on it. We don't put the table on there until we're ready to go. There's my reflection. So I'm going to go ahead and hit auto calibrate. And it's saying make sure you don't have anything or any tables on the system. So here we are. It's going through and it's moving itself and aligning itself. Get up here a little closer so you can see a little better. So it does tilt and rotate. And on the control panel down here, we've got the machine turned on, but the X-ray turned off. And here's the controls on it. So it just calibrated itself, just finished itself. We're all set. And if we want to move it by hand, we tell it whether we're going to be talking X, Y, or Z in the motion. Then we use the joystick here, pushing it up and down to raise it. So if I put it on Z, you can see it's on Z, and I do this, I can use the joystick to raise that up and down. I'll lower it down a little bit, it doesn't matter. So let me take this, open this guy up. I've got a table here. I'm going to put this on here, set it in there, and then I tighten this thumb screw down. This is just a light little aluminum frame, a little piece of, I don't know, some type of carbon device, and we can see where we're going to do it. And the product I want to look at is this USB cable. This is a USB-C to USB-B cable. This is a custom cable that we're having manufactured, and I want to look inside. So no reason to even take it out of the bag. I'm just going to zoom into this guy and look at that inside that connector. That's the USB-B piece of it right there. So it's inside the X-ray. Close the chamber up. I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on for the X-ray. It's not turned on, but it's now enabled in the software. So we'll go ahead and minimize this down. Oh, I'm going to continue that. It's still running here in the background. Let's go ahead and fire up the X-ray controller. Currently, we got it default to 80 and 150. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And it is now energizing the system. And if we look over here, we now have this thing says that it's on. We're on X-ray. The camera's turned on, the power's on. We can look at it different ways here. All right, so here we can actually see that we do have it turned on and it's running. And we can see the red light shining. It's not actually on the connector itself, it's shining on it. I'm going to go ahead and move the XY table over a little bit. We're wanting to look inside that connector and see what's going on. So I'm jogging it over, and I think we're pretty close to there. We've got our X-ray turned on, we're warmed up, we're running at 12 watts, which is what we're supposed to be. Now we're going to go to the GTI imaging software. We're pulled up here. Oh, hey, we already got the camera on. We're on a live view. So here we can see inside this connector. I'm gonna jog this over and look at the screen here, and it's an X-ray, and so you can see I hit the button 3 times. We can see the echo right here of it. If I hit it again, you can watch the screen. So now it's got to update itself because this is a live image. This is actually going on inside that connector. I'm going to hit the Z. I turned this over to Z right here, from XY to Z, and I'm going to lower the bed. I'm going to show you what it looks like as I lower it. I went down here just about as low as it would go. We're going to see right here, and scoot it over a little bit. I want to see those solder joints. Here we go. So this is what I want to be able to see. I'm looking inside the black housing of that USB connector. You can see at the top of the screen here, we can see the outline of the plastic right here, and then we can see the 2 wires coming down. This is a USB-B connector. This is the printer style connector that's a barrel. It's got 2 connectors over the top of another one. So here we can see our 2 wires coming into our 2 pins, which are our data pins, we believe, and then we got our power and our ground coming in, 2 wires, because they're sitting on top of each other, and we have our shield, which is inside that thing molded. That's what we really want to see. Now then, let's go to the really cool feature of this is we're going to turn it into tilt. Now I got it down close, so I may need to raise it up a little bit. We're going to tilt this thing. I'm going to tilt it. See, we're tilting it up. Our cable hopefully didn't move much. Now we're zooming it in here. It did move. It's no longer hitting it, so we missed. You can see at the top of the screen where we're missing it completely. So I'm gonna zoom in here. Try to get this so you can see it. Oh, our cable slid down. All right, so maybe we'll tilt it the other way. We can't do it too much. That's as close as we can get. So we're going to have to stop the X-ray. I'm going to have to move the cable. So in order to do that, we go over here and we just click off. We now have it turned off. It's settling down. All the power is dissipated out. We now have this turned off. We still have the LED in here showing where we're at. So I'm just going to slide this forward. We're going to turn it this way. When we turn it this way, 90 degrees here, we're going to see that our connector changed in our video 90 degrees. Let's close it back up. Come back over here, and we're just going to turn it back on. We got it on here. We're building up to 6 watts, 10, and 12 watts. We're back at full power. Now look at our screen. So we can actually see that cable coming through there. We're going to put it back over to tilt. I'm going to tilt it up so we can get a really good view of what it is. And then we're going to zoom out here. Kind of hard to see, but I think we're right there. So looking at our screen, we're going to lower it down. I'm just trying to get to where I can see inside that connector. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see exactly where we're hitting it. All right, here's our connector. That's right at the very tip of it. So we can see where we've got our two that are long. I'm moving it down a little bit there. We're looking inside the housing. So it's a little confusing to see what we're looking at right there. There we are. Now we can see our solder connections. Now we put it on tilt, and we can tilt it just a little bit to the side. Now we can see a little bit better angle. We can see our two different wires coming down here, and our two data lines coming down here, and they're going into that connector. And here's our shield tied into that same connector. Sorry about my finger there. So this is a complete shot inside that USB connector. We can tell that these particular pieces are power by when we look at the length of the pins. We know that USB connectors connect up to a connection when they get plugged in. The longer power and ground connect before data. That way you get stabilized power at the instant you plug it in. So here are two long pins, power and ground. Here are two data pins right there. So you can see right there, by zooming it out, we can see inside. Now let's go look inside that USB-C connector. So we got it here. Let's see, our connector is up here at the front of this bag. Let's see if we can get to it without getting us too much trouble. We may be, oh, there it is. We can see it on the screen. It's coming into the side. There we go. That says inside. Inside our USB connector. So we can change the screen here a little bit. We go to change in brightness. We can see through it just a little bit better. And so this is our power and ground. These two outside ones are two data on the inside. And I don't recall which one's ground, but I would assume it's this one because you can see the fraying right here where our ground wire and our shield are tied together. And so that makes me think this is the ground, this is the power, and then data plus, data minus are these two here. The other thing that we can tell from our X-ray is this wire is certainly bigger than these two because I wanted 24 and 28 gauge wire to be able to support full 2 amp power through that. You can see inside this USB-C connector, the way it's tilted, this is a PCB with a connector put onto it, and then these are soldered onto that PCB. And we've got all these other data lines that are connected other than power and ground where that USB-C has the capability of doing stuff. You can see these little marks right here. These are actually through holes. These 4 here, there's another one here, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I see right off the bat. So there are 8 holes inside that PCB that are through holes. So if we take this, come back over here to tilt, let's rotate it and see if we can get it a little flatter so we can look at that connector straight on. So I'll let the image restabilize a little bit, back it up just a little to get it higher. So this is a live view of the X-ray, so it takes it a moment for it to settle down. Get in there. Yeah, you can see the ground wire there just a little bit more. So I'm moving it out just a little bit so we can see it. So you can see our shield inside that plastic housing. Our data, so our shield and our ground are tied together. So it's a good looking cable. The outer over molding is put together just right. And we have an excellent connector. You can see the PCB has got an outline right here where it connects up to the shielding of that thing. It looks like it ties in there inside the housing. And I don't think we can tilt it much at all to get any better view. We're down at the base of our table. So here's our slightly better image of that PCB. Let's scoot it over just a little bit. There we go. I just stopped moving it. We'll let it settle down here. We can see it just a little bit better. If I go back to our contrast adjustment, we can see the histogram on it, what it looks like manually. We're looking at, there's a little bit more detailed view. There's a little bit more of a grainier detailed view. You can see the PCB really well inside there. Come out here, we get a little bit grainier, but you can see how it's actually moving and doing the recording. Here's the smoothest image that I can create off of it. And it takes it again a few minutes or a few moments to settle down, become really nice and smooth. But you can see here what it looks like inside that. We got we can go to the raw image, and you can see how it's really, it's pulling it in right there real fast. And we can go back to our smoothing. We can go to different sharpening modes here where we pull it in. This is about our best view right here, where you can see through that. And then we can increase the quality just by changing these sliders just a little bit, just based upon what we want. Get it back about where it was before. Anyway, that's about it. I can come over here and take a picture of it. I could create a video of it, create a 3D image of it, showing what the different heights are on that thing. That really doesn't do us any good on a connector. But if we were to look inside of a microchip, we could do that. We could look inside a processor, we could look underneath a processor, we could look inside a BGA, underneath a BGA, do all kinds of things like that, looking for problems, shorts, anything. Anyway, that is our X-ray system. Just want to do a short little video on it. Jump over here, we can turn the X-ray off, and we now have this turned off. We'll go ahead and put it in safe mode, turn the X-ray tube off, and we can take our camera out. Or I'm sorry, our cable out. So I'll take that out. I'll turn around. I'll take this loose. Slide that out. So this is just an arm and extension that hangs in there, and you can see what it has here and what this system looks like right here. This is the XYZ tilt and rotate mechanism to do the movement. That is the entire system. A little dusty. That's it.